The webinar has started.
Ridgely, welcome. Ridgely, we survived the election. We don't get political. We don't get political on this show, but you know what? I think we can all agree. I'm glad it's over. It's all
Yeah.
over except for the crying. And
Yeah.
in my house, the drinking.
You know, I remember having a very wise mentor. Unfortunately, he passed away a little while ago. And he used to always say, come election time, he'd say, just tell me what the rules are. I'll play within the rules and I'll figure out how to succeed. And I'm like, you know what? That is just good, solid advice from anybody. That way you don't have to get into challenges with, my neighbor over there has this sign and my neighbor on the other side has this other sign on their front yard. And oh, by the way, I'm not sure about the rest of the country, but uh, in Florida, it's actually a rule that you have to take your sign down within one day of the election.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
Nobody does it, and nobody enforces it, but
Yeah.
usually what happens is whoever wins doesn't take their sign down. Only the people that lost take their sign down, right? So,
Well,
anyway.
yeah, there you go. Okay, so originally we have some excitement coming up for today's meeting. Today is an open house special, so welcome to everybody who normally does not attend, but we do have some guests on that are auditing this meeting, and that's awesome. And we're gonna have lots of fun, and we're gonna have a special invitation for you to book a call with Ridgely, so that'll be exciting. So Ridgely, let's jump right into it.
Okay.
Everybody, if you have a hot seat issue, we actually have an open hot seat available for this call here. So jump on, help us spin up our marketing machine for you. We can review your stuff or give you some ideas, that sort of thing. But originally, do you want to start with that, or do you want to fulfill your promise about
Yeah,
what you?
I'll do that. I'll do that too. But I want to point something out.
Yes.
How many of people, and just jump in the chat and say, weigh in, have been getting a massive amount of political solicitations on your cell phone,
Yeah.
besides me? I mean, crazy. So here's what I was doing. I was literally blocking every single one of them and
Okay.
deleting them and reporting them as junk.
Okay.
And I thought for sure, now that the election is over, that they would stop. But no, they have not stopped. And they continue. I just got another one just a minute ago. Now, why are they doing this? Anybody have a sense of why, even though the election is over, they continue um, they continue to solicit? What are they trying to do? Anybody have a sense of what they're doing? Because it's very similar to what we do in online marketing. What they're doing is they're putting people into a funnel of some kind. Now,
Mhm.
for them, for the most part, what they're doing is they're attempting to get you onto some kind of a list or some kind of a thing to raise money. But they're also building a database, right? So as we talk about all the things that we do, again, online marketing is only ever about two things. How do people find you? Traffic. And what happens when they do? Conversion. There is nothing else to online marketing. Both of those, by the way, are extraordinarily complex. But that at the end of the day, it's how do people find you? What happens when they do? What they're doing is they figured out, oh, I can use this machine to find you. And now I'm going to try to get you to opt in to my thing, whatever my thing is, the super PAC of this or the da da da. And I'm going to keep it going for as long as I think there's some juice to it. So
Yeah.
now we're getting oh, well, Kamala lost and Donald won, and therefore opt in for this. And they're going to keep sending these until it becomes like, okay, we've worked this list to death. There's nothing else there. Now, contrast that with what do we do if you're building an email list? If you're building a database, what do you do with that list? You work the list, you provide value to the list. I think they didn't get that memo, by the way. They didn't get the providing value part, Hubert, memo of the memo. But they're working the list, and when somebody doesn't respond at all, they then stop the machine. Or if you're building a database, you purge the list. Because actually, in online marketing, it hurts you to have people on your list that do not respond. Hubert, you want to tell everybody a little bit about how ISPs work and why, if you're not purging your list and getting rid of people who don't open anything that you ever send to them, it's actually bad.
It's actually very bad. And I'll tell you not only how it works, but I'll tell you why they've structured it that way. So if you use email, if you use an opt-in email service, and speaking of opting in originally, I too have gotten a zillion of these guys here, and none of them I've opted in for. I can opt out. I can type in stop, and it will say, "Hey, we've opted you out." But you know what? I didn't opt in. So something funky is going on with the opt-in of these text messages, right? So theoretically, you're supposed to opt into an email service. Let's say you got, Hubert's Incredible Lead Magnet, and I put it up on my webpage, and people sign up. And let's say I like to use Aweber or MailChimp, and I have you on my opted-in email list. Well, you know what? My emails are going to be sent out on my behalf through Aweber or MailChimp or whatever you use. Okay. That's a group service. If I spam like crazy, not only will I get dinged by Aweber because Aweber is getting dinged by the ISPs, right? And so it's very rigorous how they track this. So they're looking at my stats. If I have garbage emails that bounce a lot, that's bad. That reflects poorly on Aweber with the ISPs. Aweber is going to say, Hubert, you got to clean up your act. If I have emails that don't have good click-through rates or opt-in rates, or the statistics are bad, they will likewise come to me. And what Ridgely and I realized a long time ago, Ridgely, the numbers don't lie. If I say to you, I have an opted-in list, it's going to perform at a certain number of statistics, right? If I actually lied and I found this list on the street, or my buddy from 10 years ago emailed me a list and said, hey, go blast these, the numbers show the poor quality of the list, and you will get dinged for it. So you must, what you do is you send some emails, you start culling the list. Originally, you and I have been doing this very vigorously over the past year with a certain list that we're reviving, and we're being heartless. We're being like, no, they haven't opened in the last 3 months. Cut them, cut them, cut them. Now, originally, you know how hard it is to have a sizable list and then start cutting it down because the
Yeah, let's
bragging.
talk about that for a second. I want to really help people understand this because we're talking about currency. An email is currency, but an email is only good currency if it's a quality email. If it's a garbage email that never opens anything, or, and I don't mean this to be politically incorrect, comes from a country or area of the world where there is no money, that there's no way that they can purchase a product that you're offering, then that's a low-level email. So we call them the ABCs of online marketing. You got your A list, your B list, your C list. You want to be really focusing on your A list as much as possible and getting rid of people that are not good emails, because A, they cost you money depending on what service that you're using. B, when you go to negotiate and you say to somebody, hey, we're going to do an exchange. Here's the currency that I have. I've got 10,000 emails. Okay, great. Well, there's 10,000 emails that are C-level emails, and there's 1,000 A-level emails that might be way better than the 10,000. And you've got to really understand that and constantly be upgrading your currency. So to Hubert's point, it's very difficult for a lot of people to get rid of emails because they think, or whatever it may be, followers, whatever, because they think, oh, but that's my currency. I need that to be able to trade with, to barter with, or whatever. Not if it's garbage. That's just being out of integrity. That does not work. It won't get you any kind of results. I was on the phone a couple hours ago with one of our JV partners in the United Kingdom. What were we talking about? We were talking about what were the offers that our list that has been culled down from big to effective responded to, so that we could set those up and do those again at the beginning of the year. Now, notice, I know if the offer is a good offer that has been proven, and I have a list that has responded to it before, I know that I have currency that I can use to promote that offer again and generate revenue. because I've already established that. This is super important. There's a lot of people that have a bunch of garbage that they think is worthwhile, and other people that have underappreciated assets that they don't know how much they're worth. We have to get a sense of what that currency is, and you got to keep culling the list to make sure that you're doing what you got to do to bring up the caliber on a continuous basis.
Yes, and here's why you need to do it. Okay, not only for your fellow users such as me on Aweber, right, but more importantly for yourself, because what's going to happen when you get to the next level of JV, and Richly, you're the JV master, so you can speak to this. When you get to the next level and you partner with somebody savvy who doesn't say to you, "Hey, Richly, email me 5,000 emails." No, they're going to say, "Hey, Richly, get me 500 clicks." Then what are you going to do? Now, Ridgely, please explain the subtlety here, because if you haven't been through it, you don't know the struggle. That what's the difference between promising a JV partner 500 clicks versus 5,000 emails?
So when you make a promise that you're just doing an email swap, there's no accountability per se. People have to trust, hey, you said you're sending the email. I'm on your list. I see that that email showed up in my inbox. So I'm going to, by extension, make the inference that you sent it out to your entire list, because otherwise it would not have shown up in my inbox. Smart marketers, by the way, will opt into a list with an email that is not a usual email, right? That's some other name in a normal format like an Outlook or a Gmail or something that has nothing to do with the person, so that they're on the list, so that when somebody says, I mailed my list, they can check and see, or even do even better. Somebody says, I'm going to mail on this day. And it's very reasonable to say, hey, man, let me know which day you're going to mail so I can be paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you don't get that email to your email inbox, the one that you set up that's not normal, that doesn't reflect you at all, you can reach out to that partner and say, hey, I just wanted to check, were you mailing today? I haven't gotten anything yet. They don't know what email it is, so that's a good way to do things, but it's out of integrity otherwise. However, could somebody be super clever and just mail 100 people, including you, and pretend like they mailed? Yes. Can you do that with clicks? No, because if you're doing not an email exchange, but a click exchange, what that means is you send me 100 clicks that I see on my metrics that show how many people clicked on the link, and I'll send you 100 clicks or 1,000 clicks or whatever the number may be. It's a click exchange, fully accountable. Now, how do people game that? Well, they send bogus clicks from garbage lists, right? There are still a lot of people who may click, but that still does not accomplish the objective, right? So obviously, we're going to make the assumption that we're dealing with people of integrity, but if you want to raise the level of accountability, rather than simply doing an email swap, you can do a click swap. And you'll see many offers that are out there that say, okay, the minimum to qualify for blank is 100 clicks. If you don't give me 100 clicks, I'm not going to pay you. If you don't give me 100 clicks, I'm not going to do this. If you don't give me 100 clicks, I'm not going to reciprocate. But if you give me 100 clicks, I'm going to give you more clicks than you gave me back. So you give me 180 clicks, I'm going to give you 210 or whatever. There's lots of ways of working the situation when you understand how the online marketing world works. And the big thing here is to always act in integrity, because you will get found out.
Yes, you will.
I will tell you a story without mentioning names, because the people may be known in the industry depending on what circles you run in, etc. But it was found out at one of the masterminds that I belong to 2 weeks ago that someone was double charging members that they were doing business with. And it didn't happen once, it happened multiple times.
Double charge in what manner?
Like when you're in a mastermind, you find out what somebody else is doing, you're like, oh, I could use that service, let me pay you for that service and do that for me, because you find out that they have something that you need, so you say, go for it, do that for me. So a number of people signed up for this person's program, whatever their program was, multi-thousand-dollar program. And a number of people were double billed. Now, it's crazy how many people would let something slide because they're not paying attention. But if depending on the size of your business, you know, $3,000 expense might be something that's a rounding error if it's a big business or whatever. When it was found out that this person had done this multiple times and that they argued about refunds, this person has been blackballed from anything that anybody in this mastermind will ever do. Immediately, they're done for life. They're gone. They're like, nope, they are on the list. And you know what's funny? Then the other stories start coming out. You know, I heard from so-and-so about this person. I heard from such and such that they said they had a difficult time and the thing gets a little stronger. And I swear to you, Hubert, within 3 days of this going public, it was like, man, this person is done in the industry as far as we're concerned. And in our mastermind, man, there's some serious players in there. They're gone. They're gone from being out of integrity. Gone.
That's a good story. I want you to tell the flip side of this. This is your secret strategy, and I've watched you do this for years, originally. What happens if you approach communities totally selflessly and do nothing but help, and how that parlays eventually into something? And I'm going to ask you to bring into light Doreena's question that she just dropped. How do you do this? She's talking about, you know, JV support. If you have no list yet, is it just pay affiliate fee on a sale? But originally, I want you to back into that by telling us the power of what you do in terms of give, give, give.
Yeah. So, you know, fortunately for me, I like giving anyway, right? It makes me feel good to give and serve others, and hopefully it always will. But it's really economically smart. There's this thing called the law of reciprocity, and the law of reciprocity is super strong. If you give and keep giving, eventually people feel bad about not giving back. It opens a loop, and people like to have loops closed. Are there a minority of people who can accept and never give? I guess so. I don't know them, but normally, no. So when you want to do business with somebody, one of the best things you can do is sign up for their list. And then when they send something out, jump on their Facebook. Hey, I really love this thing that you did, da, 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 right? The next level would be buy their product and talk about it on their social media and on your social media and tag them. Because if they're tagged, they're going to see it. They're going to see, hey, Hubert Lee is talking about my product over on his own social media. Who's this Hubert Lee guy? I need to know more about. And it's natural. It's just human nature. I want to know who is that guy who's talking about my stuff in a positive way on his channel. Maybe we should be doing business together. Maybe we should connect on some level. As a result of that, of years of doing this, I'm very, very blessed. We have a stellar reputation as being people you want to do business with, people that are going to do what they say they're going to do, and they're going to go the extra mile. And it always works, because sometimes, what if in the case of Dorina, you don't have a list, but have you built up some social capital? What about social capital? Social capital is a form of currency. There are people who will just do a favor for somebody else because they like them. They don't need clicks back. They just like them. So what do? You figure out a way to make it worthwhile for somebody to do that. And I've heard of, let me give you a couple of extreme examples. What about, here's a crazy one. Most people would not be able to do this. It's just too far of a stretch. But if you really get it, you could. What about paying out a 100% commission on your offer? Right? Your product is $500, and for everybody that buys, you pay $500. So I'm like, what? How could you do that? That's insane. Really? Except now you have a buyer on your list. Now you have a buyer on your list. There is no more valuable person on your list than a buyer. So if, let's suppose somebody sends you tons of traffic and you have to pay it all out, but you now have tons of buyers on your list. You know what that's worth the next time around? If you have a long-term perspective, that might be worth a fortune. So let's back it down. Let's back it down from 100% commissions. But could you pay out 75? Yeah, you could. Let's say you've got a digital product and it sells for $500 and you pay out 75% commission. That would be, I don't know, 400 or whatever. Whatever the number is, close to 400. You still get $100. $100 that you would not have if it weren't for that other person mailing for you. And now you have another buyer on your list. So it really is very interesting when you start to get into the dynamics of online marketing. Generosity pays. To think like that and think, wait, what could I do to serve that person? Oh, I could buy their product. I could talk about it. I could blog about them. I could use the product and share how it worked for me. And maybe when I go out and do an offer, I'm super generous with that offer. You want to grab somebody's attention? Figure out their email, PayPal them $10 for no reason. Like, why did I get this $10 from Hubert Lee? Well, who's this Hubert Lee? Oh, Hubert Lee. He's the guy that says nice things about my products. Why did he send me $10? That's so weird. I'm going to just reach out to, hey, Hubert, why'd you send me $10? Hey, man, just wanted to get your attention. I was wondering if we could talk for 5 minutes. You don't think Hubert's going to make 5 minutes to talk to that guy? It's marketing, man. This is marketing. We got to be able to sell ourselves into the marketplace. It's totally worth it. So with that all said, I am going to bring up something on my screen. Okay, Hubie, it's about time.
Yes, it is.
All right. So today,
Set the stage for us because some of the people on this call didn't catch the buildup from last week about this approach.
okay. I got to find where I put this thing anyway.
And of course, and this actually, folks, is a byproduct of Ridgely's, quarterly sojourn to a very high-end mastermind that Ridgely completed 2 weeks ago. Came back hot and heavy about this idea, and Ridgely, maybe a 15-second brief as to like what the concept was.
Okay, so I was at a mastermind, and one of the leaders there was a woman who had to get a job when she got a divorce and had 2 kids, went into telemarketing sales, ended up through a series of events managing a floor of 250 commission sales people only, commission sales only. That's insane. Okay, that's mind-boggling to me by itself. That is the worst adult daycare center in life, right? You're talking about performers and a whole lot of underperformers or no performers, right? But she did it anyway. So she had some great ideas as to how you go about really motivating somebody to do something. And one of them was ask questions. So I, at that same mastermind, met a doc, a very high profile, very successful doc who's given 1,000 talks all over the world, written all these papers, all these books, whatever, and is opening a new practice in a competitive market, the market of Summerlin, which is the high-end neighborhood of Las Vegas. So that'd be like Beverly Hills in Los Angeles. It'd be like Highland Park in Dallas, something like that. The high-end area of Las Vegas is called Summerlin. So I said to him, hey, man, let me do some research on what we think, what's the challenges over there. And let me see what I can find out about Summerlin. And I'll shoot you a quick video and get that over to you. I want to point something out. Let me see if you can see where it says there has been, as you can see, this happened 3 hours ago. Everybody see that? 3 hours ago, right up here at the top. It has had 1 view so far. That 1 view then turned into the invite on my Calendly for next Friday with Dr. Todd, his name is, that has already been accepted by Dr. Todd. It took 3 hours. Anybody want to watch this video? Just saying. Maybe I'll stop, right? So I'm going to stop it periodically to show what it, let me see if I can make this bigger. I'm not sure I can. We'll see that in just a second. I'll give it a start and then I'll stop periodically. Check it out. Out with you at Flight Club in Vegas. That was definitely a blast. And as promised, I did a little digging to see what the situation looks like in Summerlin for cosmetic dentistry and for your Proctor Snyder cosmetic. So let's take a look real quick here. There's Summerlin Dentist. You've got a couple of paid ad care. Okay. And SummerlinDental.net showed up at Summerlin for cosmetic dentistry and for your Proctor Snyder cosmetic. I'm going to stop it for a second. Notice there are different pieces here to pay attention to. These are advertisements that are paid for. So this is paid traffic right here. I'll keep going. So let's take a look real quick here. There's Summerlin Dentist. You've got a couple of paid ads up here. Something to look at. Not sure it's all that interesting since we're looking more at the cosmetics situation. Come down a little bit lower and you have the Dentist of Summerlin Dental. These are the people that show up in the maps. So first you had the paid traffic. Now you have people showing up in the Google map to the right-hand side. Atelier, these guys show up a lot. And then Summerlin Smiles, that's in the Google Maps. And then Summerlin Dental Care. This is organic rankings. So you had paid traffic, traffic in the maps that is driven by your Google business profile, and organic traffic driven by your rankings. And SummerlinDental.net showed up in the top 2 organic situations. I think what you're much more interested in, though, is this. Summerlin Cosmetic, top 3 in the maps. Again, Dental Atelier showing up there, Summerlin Center for Aesthetic Dentistry, and Wagner. Now, what I'm doing is I am teeing him up, right? I am teeing him up for something. We're going to see what I'm teeing him up for first. And then down below, these guys are pretty strong. Summerlin Center for Aesthetics, #1 in organics. A couple other new players showed up as well. When we go to the next keyword, which is cosmetic dentist Summerlin, it's the same 3. Summerlin Center for Aesthetic, Dental Atelier, Wagner. Different order, by the way, so they shuffle them around for those keywords, which means there's some movement there, which is good. If anybody gets how subtle this is, I just said there are the top 3, and they're in a different order, which means they get shuffled around a little bit, which means what? There's the possibility of movement. There's nobody who's dominating the whole thing at this point. And again, Summerlin Center for Aesthetic down here, and Dental Solutions LV right here as well. New guy, Ryan March, shows up there. When I go over here to Smile Makeover, then we have 1 in the paid, go down into organic, nobody in the maps, by the way, that's interesting. And Summerlin. You hear that? Nobody in the maps. That's interesting. As in available space for us to completely take over on your behalf. Dental shows up again here. So they have a pretty strong footprint. These guys, Nevada Dental Aesthetics, are new. And then go to Hollywood Smile. And this is where things get interesting. Now AI is in the game. And the reason why this is so important is because please pay attention to what I'm about to say here, because this is where we're going. This is the future. And this is where you could have a huge edge. Listen carefully, please, and I'll explain it. Want to be the dominant player when AI starts popping up this ability for a patient or a prospective patient to interface with AI, because if they get a good interaction with you, because there's enough information about you and what you do and good continuous content on the web, they're not going to go anywhere else. They're not going to search around if they've been going back and forth with AI and Snyder Cosmetic Dentistry showing up first. They're going to go to you right away. So now this is really important. This is generative AI, right? So it's generating a response with you. It's going back and forth with you. You're interfacing with AI. That's why this is super powerful. So notice all I did was I opened. So this is really an important situation. We go down below and we see, you can see that all these different tabs were open when I was recording this video. It was Summerlin Dentist, Cosmetic Dentist, Hollywood Smile, etc. And I just popped from one to the other. And I'm teeing it up for the close. Again, there's Summerlin showing up there, and then there's Aesthetic Dentistry showing up there. So clearly there are 2 or 3 pretty dominant players that are out there that we can go after. Mainly these 3 right here. And then Summerlin, the other Summerlin as well, which shows up, Summerlin Dental Solutions, dentalsolutionslv.com. So anyway, had some fun with this. I hope this is valuable to you. If you are ready to go take out those #1 guys, what do you think? Think we should take them out? And that was it right there. You may not have heard it. Do you think we should take them out? We've demonstrated, think about what I did there, showed them exactly what the landscape is, that there was some motion, that there were possibilities that maybe he had not considered, and then asked the question, should we take them out? That's it. And I already got the answer. Next Friday, 2 o'clock, booked with a
Nice.
guy who's super successful coming into a highly competitive market, which if we end up working with him, which I expect we will be a very large contract. So this question, do the research. If you notice, there was a lot of value given there. I did all the work. I did all the research. I shot a video and said, hey, man, you think we should take him out? If it's a competitive person, they're like, not just yeah, but hell yeah.
Yes.
Right?
What is it about the power of the question format, do you think, that makes it work?
A question is better than a statement, is better than a statistic. It causes the person in their brain to think the answer that you want them to think. Do you think we should take them out? Hell yeah, we should take them out. I mean, that's what I wanted. That's what I want. It becomes, as Dorina says, gets them to think it's their idea. Their idea to say, damn straight, I need to get these guys over here, get them on my team, get them to get my website to rank, because I'm not playing. I'm putting a lot of money into this deal, and I absolutely want to get this done properly. These guys show me more than anybody else has ever showed me. And oh, by the way, that format, if you'll notice, of talking head down in the corner with data on the screen enables the person to process the data, as opposed to looking at Hubert and I right now, for example, explaining something.
Yes.
Nowhere near as effective as going through the process of well, this and then this and then this, and you notice here and you notice there and you notice that. What? Super effective, man. It's awesome.
Couple
So
of couple of technical details just to kind of, equip people with the tool set here. So that was simply a Loom video that Ridgely shot. You can get started right away on Loom for free, right? If you use the free account, though, know that the video expires after a certain amount of time. So you're going to want to download the video and capture the video somehow if you want to persist it. But it's as simple as turning on Loom. You set it so that it does your screen capture with your little photo on it. Your little video on it. And it's very, very compelling because you're looking at the page together. Okay. A couple of other things visually I wanted to mention also too. People, it's everything in online marketing is about traffic and conversion. Okay, but there's also very subtle, originally, the conversion of the traffic, meaning visually showed us some screen layouts, some search results, where there was one where two dentists were advertising. Okay, one had a close-up picture of themselves, and one had a picture of them full body further away. Even though the one with in space number one originally was on top, I would click on the second one because I could see who the dentist is because it was zoomed in on their face. Do you recall that one? Right? So there are these little conversion tricks. There was also in the cosmetic dental map listing that Ridgely showed, where all three of the dentists, the pictures that they showed in their listing was close-ups of teeth. If one of them had a face, or better yet, an actual patient, my gosh, I would click that one over, the zoomed in picture of the before and after teeth for sure. So there's lots of little subtle conversions, even when it comes to the traffic side, as opposed to the conversion side.
yeah, for sure. I mean, and we got to keep learning these things, right? Because at the end of the day, if you can master traffic and conversion, then you can basically really get your product out there in a way that everybody wants to see. So,
So thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for, giving us a demonstration of a 100% converting piece of marketing that only happened 3 hours ago.
yeah, I mean, and so I want to show something. Uh, I need somebody to throw a name, an industry, and a couple of players in the industry in the chat. In other words, an industry, it's HVAC, it's chiropractors, it's whatever. Throw an industry out there and give me a couple of names. I want to show you guys something because this is really, really powerful stuff. So give me an industry and a couple names, and I'm going to set this up on my screen. Hubert, I know you know where I'm going, but I'm going to do this. So let's get to work for you. We got any names yet, Hubert? Got anything yet?
Yes, Mike dropped something here.
So,
Okay. Mike is saying, plumber, 4 Paws Plumbing in Austin.
okay, so let's just suppose that I am going to, and I'm going to use ChatGPT in this particular case, and we're going into plumbing. And hold on, I'm just going to open this up here and share. I want to share with what I'm doing exactly. All right, here we go. So I am going to use ChatGPT 4.0 and I want to demonstrate this concept, the concept of creating value. Okay. So you are an expert marketer, and I'm going to do it old school.
I'm not seeing your screen, or I'm seeing a weird fragment in a weird way.
Okay, hold on a second. How
And,
about now?
Yep, now it's good.
Expert marketer with deep knowledge of the plumbing industry. You have a chance to do business with, who is it again?
4 Paws, like a pet. 4 Paws Plumbing in Austin.
4 Paws
Plumbing
in Austin, Texas. And would like to get some info about them. Let's see what they give me. Just do that. Just really super cool. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Very quickly. I got that so fast, right? Anybody see how fast that works, right? That's just super crazy. So, all right, now let's go here, and I'm going to go to Ridgely's prompts, and I'm going to say, give me an executive summary of 4 Paws Plumbing. And I'm going to hold on a second, come back here. Command V, and it's called 4pawsplumbing.com. 4 Paws Plumbing. I do have to spell this correctly, .com, and make it 3 pages long. Boop. Okay, cool. So it says I can't access because they got some restrictions. All right, cool. But they're going to give me some. Good. Give me that. All right. And now let's see, what else could I get from them? If I really wanted to, could I go back to Ridgely's prompts and go to a needs assessment? Or I could even go to a SWOT analysis. I'm going to do it old school. I'll do it old school and see what they give me. So they gave me a problem. They gave me a solution. They gave me a target market. They gave me competition, ABC Home Commercial, Radiant Plumbing, Mr. Rooter Plumbing, etc. The team, small community-based provider. Cool. Thanks. Now give me a SWOT analysis of 4 Paws Plumbing.com. Look at this. I hope everybody's paying attention here. This is, now I'm getting the strengths, 20 years in the industry, unique mission of donating 4% of profits to local animal shelters, local reputation, customer-centric approach, weaknesses, limited service hours, marketing reach, scalability constraints, opportunities, growing market in Austin, expansion of service hours, enhanced digital marketing, eco-friendly services, threats, high competition, economic fluctuations, labor shortages, tech advancements. Conclusion. Well-positioned as a reliable community face, So now I have all of this data. Now, imagine that I know all that, and I then go and I'm going to open up a new window here real quick to do this and show you what I can find out. There we go. New window. Let me go to Zoom. I'll share my screen again. Whoop. Okay. And I'm going to say, I'm going to first look up for pause plumbing.com. And here they are. Look very friendly, all good, etc. But then if I go to another tab and I type in plumbing Austin TX, let's see what happens. Well, they're not paying for any ads, not in the sponsored. Businesses, we got Abacus, that's paid. Beyond Wow, Reliant Plumbing showing up twice, Stands, etc. So I know that they're not really all that visible. So can you guys see what I'm doing? I'm using ChatGPT to give me data, a SWOT analysis. I'm going online, I'm looking at their website, got that all handled. And I'm going here, I'm finding that they don't exist, but man, what could we do for them to get them into the maps, to get them into organic traffic, etc. And then if I wanted to, I could literally do this. Let's just go over here. And I'm just kind of throwing this out for everybody to see what's possible when you kind of get a sense. I need to go and go home. And hold on. Go to my my space. There we go. New video. Record a video. I'm going to record a video right while this. I'm hoping that I can do this while Zoom is working. I think I can. Let's give it a try. Share. Hey there, For Pause Plumbing. I wanted to get in contact with y'all because I want to show you something very interesting. By the way, really cool website. Love the friendliness. Of course, those dogs are just so cute. I remember my grandmother used to have one of those when I was a kid. It was totally awesome. But I want to show you something over here. When you're looking at the advertising for Austin, Texas and For Pause Plumbing, I noticed that obviously you're not showing up in the paid stuff, which is understandable. That's kind of expensive. But then when I go to the Google Maps, here's Abacus Plumbing, Beyond Wow Plumbing, Reliant Plumbing. You're not there, which means people aren't finding you, man. That's a real drag. Then I look a little further down into organic traffic, and you're not showing up there either. So my question to you is, if you have so much business you can't handle anymore, I totally get it. But what do you think of the idea of, instead of Beyond Wow Plumbing, right up here it said For Pause Plumbing? So that the very best people who are looking for what you have to offer find you first. Do you think that'd be a good idea? Okay, cool. If that's the case, I'm going to drop my link down there for you to book a call with me, and we'll talk about what that looks like. Okay, now obviously I cut it short, right? I cut it very short so that we could all talk about this. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen there. And now, literally, I can go down here to summary. I can rewrite what this says. Hey, would love to talk to you. I can drop my Calendly link in here. I can even go over and edit my video based on the words only. I mean, how easy can we make this already, people, to do something incredible? Hey there, For Plumbing. Well, let's just cut that out there. Delete, boom, automatically. It just deletes it. It re-edits the video for you in real time so that is gone. I wanted to get in contact you. I'll take that was out, delete, boom. And now if I start to play it, wanted to get in contact with y'all because I want to show you. They automatically cut it for you. That's ridiculous. How much easier can they make it for you to do something that, by doing a little bit of work yourself, creating a framework by which you can go sell something? You find out the information about a company using ChatGPT. You already know what the competition is. You know what the SWOT analysis is. You know what opportunities they have. Growing market in Austin, enhanced digital marketing. Right there. It's right there in front of them. You can bring that up in a video. And let me tell you something. When you send an email, and I want to show you exactly what this looks like because it's not that complicated. I go loading, sent, and here was the email that I sent. Hey, Todd, great to connect to Flight Club. As promised, we poked around Summerlin, shot a quick little video for you. This is how it shows up in the email. It looks super interesting. It's all about them. Let's chance when you have a chance to check this out. My direct email is, my calendar link is. Look forward to connecting again. I'll also text it to you and follow up. Right? I mean, how much more effective can you be than this? You took the time to find out about them with ChatGPT, to go look at their website over here online, to then do an analysis in the marketplace itself, to then shoot a video about them, and then you send it in a compelling email where it says, watch the video that's all about them. Obviously, up here it would say, 4Paws Plumbing, 4Paws Plumbing analysis. Who in the world is not going to watch that video? And when you show them the video and you drop your link to talk a little further, what do you think your chances are for success? Well, you just watch me do it. I just showed you everything I did, and it was literally 3 hours ago, and it's booked for next Friday.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, ready to go next level. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to do this live. Okay, so a couple of things. Okay, so I went and let's see if you guys spot the same thing. Okay, so first off, I went to 4Paws Plumbing, and I'm looking for something that I can give them on the next call. Meaning, I can also add to that message that originally created. Oh, and I found something about the 4Paws Plumbing website that if you make this single change, it will change things drastically. All right, that's a bold claim, but it took me 3 seconds to find it. Okay. So I'm scrolling down the page, da 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 da. So there's pictures, that's great. There's content, there's testimonials, that's great. There's a number, that's great. Call to action, that's great. Okay, and that's serving all of the Austin, Texas area. Okay, so I don't know if anybody else sees it, but I see it plain as day. Okay, and I know that the others that are ranking ahead of them don't have that problem. How do I know that? Because it's a best practice. I went to one of them, and I went and I saw all of their pictures and that content and everything. And here's their footer. Okay, they have an element here that 4Paws is missing. Likewise, Beyond Wow is another one that plays high up on the page. And has some great categorization, has fun stuff. Need a plumber, you're in the right place. Awesome. And it goes to the bottom. And again, at the bottom, they have something that 4Paws doesn't. And I did it again with 2 other sites. Here's the thing. If you look down here, and originally, I know you know the answer, but I'm going to reveal the answer and you tell them why it's so important with a GBP listing. You see how at the bottom here, it says serving all of Austin, Texas, but there's no address. No address, no street address. There's a phone number, but no street address. You go to the others, 421 Talbot Street, Taylor, Texas. You go to this one, 6016 Dillard Circle, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, originally, how important is it to Google that if you want to place for a local search that there's like address information on the site?
100%. You have to. And not only address information, but your hours. And
exactly.
The other ones. Look at the look.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? You're gonna make this video. You're also gonna say, I discovered a couple of things, 3 changes that if you don't do it through me, I encourage you, you got to get it done. Book this call and then I'll reveal it to you. You book the call and then you just point those things out. Now, if you're not trained in this thing, you're not going to recognize this thing. But you know what? You're part of this mastermind. Send me an email. I'm going to take 2 seconds and look at whatever you're prospecting and point out to you equivalent types of things. So originally, that's my deep dive, to pile on to your great example. So thank you for that.
And by the way, you can tie all this stuff together, right? That's the cool thing. You can tie it together. So for example, let me share my screen again. And this is, again, yes, it requires a bit of knowledge, but that's why you're in this mastermind and you just bring it to us and we'll have some fun with this. I go to 4Paws, go down to the bottom, right? And it's not there. The address is not there. The other stuff is not there. Their hours are not there. I can then go back to here and say, notice how these guys have their address, et cetera, et cetera. That's why they're ranking higher. There's all kinds of cool things that we could do for you to make that happen for you. Google is going to rank people higher for a number of different factors. And here they are. Don't you think it would be a good idea to be in this #1 spot? Again, throwing that question at the end, putting it in their mind, right? So when you give the extra value, it's been the whole theme of this particular mastermind, you're going to get extra results back. You're going to get people who want to, they're at least going to listen to you. And by the way, I don't know how anybody else does their sales. I personally, I am a consultative selling person. In other words, I'm going to give value, 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 and then I'm going to tell you how I can give you some more if that serves you. And if it doesn't serve you, you're not my client. And you know what? I don't want you if you're not my client. I really don't. I've gotten to a place of understanding that the best clients are the people who want what you have to offer and who can pay for it.
Yep, for sure.
And both of those are important because there's a lot of people who might want what you can offer, but they can't afford it. You know what I do with them? I say to them, I don't believe that this is a good fit for you. It's a little too expensive. You're not quite there yet. Let me give you some recommendations of what you can do or where you could go to get some advice. And I serve them so that they come back later when it is the right time. Because I don't want somebody to be straining to pay our bill. I want them to feel like, hey, man, I'm working with these guys. They're the best of the best. That's what I feel. And therefore, I'm going to take care of them and I'm going to pay our bill. And I'm going to share with you, and this is crazy. We don't have a collection problem, like ever. I mean, ever. Every now and then, do we have to send a reminder email? Hey, just checking, didn't get that payment yet. Oh man, so sorry, slipped my mind. But it's never oh, I'm not paying you, knuckleheads. Da, da, da. It's never like that. We never have that issue because we don't sign people up to be clients that are not a good fit. And we give them a ton of value on the front end to demonstrate that. I just did a workshop, a limbic messaging workshop with a company, and the woman partner, it was a dentist dental practice, the woman, and it's a dental practice that we're going to show a lot on this mastermind because we are absolutely taking over all their marketing. We're building them a brand new website. We're doing everything. It's a Southern Smiles, Huey. And it was our first website, the first limbic message. The female partner dentist said, you know, I just had a good feeling about you. So when the male partner, who's the owner of the practice, who brought in a female dentist to work with him, said, hey, what do you think? And she said to him, you know, that's a lot of things they say they can do, but I just got a good feeling about them. The guy said to me personally an hour ago, that's what sold me. Her comment about you. Why? Because we give a ton of value, and because we're always going to say, if somebody's not the right fit, they're not the right fit. I can help you over here. I can send you over there. You can go over this direction. It doesn't matter. And then you end up getting reactions like what you saw from the Loom video today. It took me a fair amount of work to get it done. I mean, you know, at least 12 minutes. By the way, that was a joke. Like, seriously, that's all it takes nowadays with AI to find out some incredible information about anybody you're prospecting with. So here's my admonition to you as a mastermind member or potential mastermind member. Please don't be lazy. Why would you be lazy and expect great clients to come to you? Do the work. Do a little bit of work. Do some value creation for your prospects. Give them something of value, of merit, so that when you get on the call with them, it's always a good call. I never have bad calls. Never. I'm never,
awesome.
you know, I never feel like I've got to sell anybody anything either. Because, hey, if it's a good fit, great. If it's not a good fit, fine.
That's awesome. I want to add something to this example that Ridgely did just to set everybody's mind at ease. Some of you may be thinking, oh, but you guys build websites and I don't do that. What Ridgely and I have now been doing is offering our marketing expertise and AI expertise without actually doing the building of the website or the actual editing. You can position yourself originally as a marketing consultant and say, hey, do you know about limbic messaging, blah, 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 whatever? Do you know about SEO optimization? Here are some things to point out. And that same conversation that you had with the 4Pause thing, you can say, hey, have your current web design team add the address. Hey, have them add the hours. You don't have to go and learn how to do that yourself. You specify that because you know what? Knowing what to do originally is way more important than being the one that actually turn the nuts and the bolts, right? Your value as the marketing consultant is there. And actually, quite a few of our mastermind members do a nice little side gig doing that exact kind of advisement. They shoot videos and they tell the people what to do in and out. They don't actually get bogged down with the actual implementation. Oh, Dorina said, I just did that for an insurance agency.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not difficult when you have ChatGPT, Gemini, Bard, etc. When you have these tools to help you figure this stuff out, just do the work. Do the little bit more than everybody else does so that you end up being the one that they choose over everybody else. All
Exactly.
right, Huberly, next week, guess what week?
Wait. Before next week, before we invite them to next week, I just dropped into the chat the Calendly link for Ridgely. Ridgely will do a 30-second commercial right now. If you've never had a call with Ridgely before and want to see, how AI can help your specifics, do book this call because it's awesome. Ridgely, tell them about it, please.
Yeah, we'll just jump on the phone and we always vet everybody before we invite them to join our mastermind. And the way that I do that is by giving tons of value, just like we've been talking about. We'll take a look at what you got, what you're looking for, where you are right now, whether it makes sense. And if it does, then great, we'll tell you how. If not, then we'll have a great call, spend a good bit of time together, and I'll give you tons of value for whatever you're working on.
Excellent.
Awesome. All right. Next week, guess what time of the month it is, Huberly?
Oh, is it time for Mind Types After Dark?
Mind Types After Dark. Oh, yes. So next week, Thursday, 14th, that will be 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And now even 5 o'clock, it's dark because of daylight savings time. Mind Types After Dark. We love to do that. We have a little bit more fun. We're a little bit more irreverent. Bring whatever your favorite beverage is, whether that's tea, or something that Mike says, I thought you said Mai Tais after dark. Well, that is the idea, Mike. You bring whatever one it is you want to drink. I will do the same, and we will have a blast. And I will report back to you from my trip to Kansas with my son, who has never shot a bow in his life and thinks that he is the great white hunter who's going to be knocking down all kinds of animals on my brother's hunting farm. I don't hunt personally. I'm kind of going there for the laughter of the whole thing because I think it's going to be quite hilarious. And we will see what happens to my son. We're leaving tomorrow morning. I will report back to you next week to see how it goes. All right.
Hey, awesome. Okay, so before I close with a couple of election-themed jokes, I want to just acknowledge a couple of things in the chat. So just a new note from Ross. Ross, thank you. After listening to your masterminds, I've been using ChatGPT to create images promoting a mini-series set in 1855 to 1955. Thanks for showing me those keys. Excellent. That's great. Bill says, thanks. Have fun. That's awesome. I just want to also reply, bring everybody up to speed with what Mike was asking. Mike was having an issue with PAF Brain where he was dropping in a site. He specifically asked to look at HeyGen's website, and he's getting a message saying that the site is blocked or can't access it. There's probably some sort of programming in their access file to not let agents in. So the workaround for that, Mike, is simply go to their webpage, do a copy all, go to the PAF Brain and turn the toggle from URL to text block and just paste all of that in there, and then run the queries. It'll have enough on the text value that you paste in to do the same amount of work. So that's awesome. Okay. All right. So folks, originally, why can't Congress ever be vegan?
Why?
Because all the turkeys playing chicken in a beef over pork is pretty fishy.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. All right, everybody.
And one more. Remember originally when Halloween was the most terrifying night of the year?
Uh-huh.
Now it's election night.
Yeah, no kidding, right? All right, everybody. Have a great time, and we'll see you
Thanks,
very soon.
everyone.
Ciao for now.
Bye
Bye.
bye.